Welcome back to Devil's Algorithm. Here's part 3 of our deep dive into cults. Today we explore why cults are formed and why even the rich and powerful join them. Stay tuned for some shocking insights. We'll hear first-hand accounts of their experiences, the tactics used to recruit and control them, and the challenges they faced in breaking free, or the reasons they choose to stay. Get ready for some eye-opening truths. This isn't about judging anyone's beliefs, it's about understanding the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of critical thinking. I grew up in Scientology. It was all I ever knew. From a young age I was taught that this was the one true path to enlightenment, to salvation, and I believed it, wholeheartedly. I dedicated my life to Scientology, truly believing I was making a difference. But as the years went by, I started to see cracks in the facade. Things didn't add up. The more I questioned, the more I was met with resistance, with punishment. I was told to silence my doubts, that my lack of faith was the problem, but my gut, it just wouldn't let it go. Leaving Scientology, it wasn't easy. It was like leaving my entire world behind. My family, my friends, everything I knew was tied to the church. But I knew in my heart that I couldn't stay silent any longer. I had to speak out, to expose the truth about what I had experienced, what so many others were still trapped in. The more I spoke out, the more people reached out to me, sharing their own stories of abuse and manipulation within Scientology. It was heartbreaking, but it also fueled my fire. I realized I wasn't alone, that there were so many others who had suffered in silence for far too long. My mission became clear: to expose Scientology for what it truly is, a harmful organization that preys on vulnerable people. Rose McGowan's story is a stark reminder that cults can target anyone, even children growing up in seemingly ordinary families. Born into the Children of God, a group known for its extreme beliefs and practices, McGowan's early life was far from normal. The Children of God preached a distorted version of Christianity, emphasizing apocalyptic prophecies and strict adherence to their rules. They lived communally, often in isolated compounds, cut off from the outside world. Control and obedience were paramount, and children were often subjected to harsh punishments and indoctrination. McGowan has spoken openly about the trauma she endured during her childhood in the cult. She witnessed things no child should ever have to see, experienced a level of control that stripped her of her individuality. It's a testament to her strength and resilience that she was able to break free from that environment and build a successful life for herself. McGowan has become a vocal advocate for survivors of cult abuse, using her platform to raise awareness about the dangers of these groups and the lasting impact they can have on their victims. Her courage to speak out is helping to shine a light on the dark underbelly of cults and the importance of protecting those who are most vulnerable. Even the brightest stars in Hollywood can find themselves caught in the web of a cult. Michelle Pfeiffer, an icon in the film industry, had a brief but eye-opening experience with a group that practiced breatharianism. This cult claimed that people could survive without food, that all they needed was air and sunlight to sustain themselves. It's a dangerous and potentially deadly belief system, one that preys on people's desire for spiritual enlightenment or physical transformation. Pfeiffer, at the beginning of her career searching for meaning and connection, was drawn into this group. They were charismatic, persuasive, promising a path to a higher level of existence. Fortunately, Pfeiffer's involvement with the group was relatively short-lived. She realized the dangers of their teachings, the lack of scientific basis for their claims. Her experience highlights the insidious nature of cults. Pfeiffer's story is a cautionary tale, a reminder to be wary of groups or individuals who claim to have all the answers, who demand unquestioning loyalty, or who promote practices that go against common sense or scientific evidence. Imagine growing up in the inner circle of one of the most controversial organizations in the world. That was Jenna Miscavige-Hill's reality. As the niece of Scientology's leader, David Miscavige, she had a front-row seat to the inner workings of this secretive organization. Raised within the confines of Scientology, Hill experienced firsthand the intense control, the isolation, and the pressure to conform that permeates the organization. From a young age, she was subjected to Scientology's teachings, its practices, and its system of rewards and punishments. As she grew older, the cracks in Scientology's facade became more and more apparent. The things she witnessed, the treatment of those who questioned or dared to leave, it conflicted with the moral compass she was developing. Leaving Scientology was a monumental decision for Hill, one that came with immense personal cost. She was cut off from her family, her friends, her entire support system. But Hill's courage in speaking out about her experiences has been invaluable in exposing the truth about Scientology. Despite the trauma she endured, the sacrifices she made, Hill has emerged as a powerful voice for other survivors of Scientology, offering them hope, support, and a path forward. You can't talk about Scientology without talking about Tom Cruise. He's arguably their most recognizable and vocal member, his face plastered on their promotional materials, his words echoing their doctrines. Cruise's dedication to Scientology is unwavering, his belief in its teachings absolute. He credits the organization with everything from his success in Hollywood to his personal happiness. But Cruise's unwavering support of Scientology has not come without controversy. Critics argue that Cruise's celebrity status gives Scientology a veneer of legitimacy, that his endorsement encourages people to overlook the organization's darker side. They point to his influence within the organization, his close relationship with its leader, David Miscavige, as evidence of his complicity in their practices. Cruise, for his part, remains defiant, dismissing the allegations against Scientology as lies spread by disgruntled former members. The debate surrounding Tom Cruise and Scientology raises questions about the role of celebrity in promoting belief systems, the responsibility of public figures to speak out against injustice, and the fine line between faith and fanaticism. John Travolta, another Hollywood heavyweight, has been a dedicated Scientologist for decades. His commitment to the organization runs deep, his belief in its teachings unwavering. Travolta credits Scientology with helping him overcome personal struggles, with providing him with the tools and support to navigate the challenges of fame and fortune. However, Travolta's unwavering loyalty to Scientology has been tested, most notably by the tragic death of his son Jet. Despite the immense grief and scrutiny he faced during that time, Travolta's faith in Scientology never wavered. Travolta's steadfast commitment to Scientology, even in the face of personal tragedy, speaks to the powerful hold the organization can have over its members. His story is a reminder that cults can offer comfort and support, particularly during times of vulnerability or loss. Elizabeth Moss, acclaimed for her roles in shows like The Handmaid's Tale and Mad Men, is a study in contrasts. She's a fierce advocate for women's rights, for equality, for freedom of expression. Yet, she remains a practicing Scientologist, an organization often criticized for its stance on these very issues. Moss's dedication to Scientology has drawn scrutiny, particularly in light of the roles she chooses to play. Her characters often challenge authority, fight for their beliefs, and expose hypocrisy. When questioned about her faith, Moss remains tight-lipped, deflecting inquiries about Scientology's practices or beliefs. Moss's story serves as a reminder that the world of belief is rarely black and white. At the helm of Scientology stands David Miscavige, a figure shrouded in controversy, accused of ruling the organization with an iron fist. His leadership has been marked by allegations of abuse, intimidation, and financial impropriety, painting a picture of an organization more concerned with power and control than spiritual enlightenment. Miscavige rose to prominence within Scientology at a young age, quickly ascending the ranks to become the organization's leader, following the death of its founder, L. Ron Hubbard. Under his leadership, Scientology has grown in wealth and influence, expanding its reach globally. However, Miscavige's tenure has been plagued by accusations of authoritarianism and abuse. Former members have come forward with harrowing accounts of physical and psychological abuse, alleging that Miscavige rules Scientology with an iron fist, demanding absolute loyalty and punishing dissent with ruthless efficiency. Despite the mounting allegations against him, Miscavige remains a powerful and enigmatic figure. David Miscavige's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power within organizations, particularly those that claim to offer spiritual enlightenment or a path to salvation. As we've seen through these stories, the world of cults is complex and often hidden in plain sight. These organizations, whether they promise spiritual enlightenment, physical transformation, or a better way of life, often prey on our deepest desires for belonging, purpose, and meaning. Cults continue to be a powerful force exploiting human psychology and social structures. Stay informed and stay safe. Be wary of groups or individuals who demand unquestioning loyalty, who isolate members from their loved ones, or who promote beliefs that seem extreme or too good to be true. By staying informed and empowering ourselves with knowledge, we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from falling prey to these manipulative groups. That's it for part 3 of our deep dive into cults. But we're not done yet. In part 4, I'll reveal why governments don't shut down cults and the hidden forces protecting them. Stay tuned.